broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're all enjoying Autodesk University so far. I just wanted to quickly introduce myself and also what we'll be showing today. My name is Tanya, and I'm the marketing manager over here at Struxsoft Solutions. Today, we'll be showing our new product, Onyx. So in a nutshell, Onyx allows users to upload their framed Revit project to a cloud server for easy sequencing, scheduling, editing, and CNC output from any web-enabled device without ever having to download the Revit file. So just before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone that if you have questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to send them through the questions tab of the GoToWebinar dashboard. We have someone standing by to answer all of your questions if they come in. All right, I'm now going to pass it over to our Onyx specialist, Alex, and he'll dive right in.
Thank you, Tanya. Hi, everybody. As Tanya said, hope everybody's enjoying this year's Autodesk University. A little bit different than what we're used to. So today I will be going over some of the more interesting aspects of Onyx. We have about 30 minutes, so we'll jump into the CNC editor, which is one of the more interesting tools to look at, sequencing, as she mentioned. And what I'm going to do to start it off is just show you guys how to bring everything to Onyx, assuming you guys have an account. So to give you an idea of what this looks like, if you had an account and you would log into Onyx, you would create yourself a project. And this is what we're going to use basically to upload all our information from Revit. So right here, we've got ourselves a model that was created with our steel module from MWF. And one of the first things we're going to do is log in to the manager with our information and the project selected that we want to use. So this would look a little something like this if I hit manage. And then depending how many projects you had created for yourselves, then you would just select the one that you want to upload the current panels and sections. So I've already brought all of this into our website for Onyx, but just to give you guys an idea of what it would look like, let me just grab that top level that you guys see. Currently it's not red because it isn't locked, and I'll explain to you as I go through this process right now why it's all locked up. So if I hit upload panels, this is going to allow me to upload my selection. If I was to do this without selecting anything, it would go and fetch all the panels in the project, which would be a little bit longer, which is why I went ahead and sped this up a little. And it's going to go grab roughly, I think, like 17 or 18 panels. Now, the order in which you would upload everything to Onyx would have been to select this upload section first. But I can get to it through here, which is why I'm just going to show you this part first. So here are all my panels that I selected. You'll notice here that we have a version 2 on the side. This is because I've already uploaded one time. So if I go ahead and select these panels, we'll notice here on the side our component status. So this is why I didn't go ahead and do upload sections right away, because we can still get to it through here. So if I open these up, you'll get these little green check marks that are letting you know, okay, your sections have been uploaded for this panel. It's good to go, basically. If one of these was red, because I had forgotten to upload it or had done some update to the file, you can always just go here to Upload Manager for the components. And this is initially where you would have started off this whole project with this page. So you would have all the different family used in your panels uploaded here. A lot of these are grayed out right now because they're not required in my panel. And right over here, these were initially in that new component page. So I went ahead and selected all these BIMSF studs and then columns, and I assigned them a section shape. So for these were the C profile with. Now, you have a library for these shapes. A lot of them will come in automatically detected now with some of the updates that we've done to Onyx in the last month. But if not, for example, here, this HSS, it says not defined, but I could have gone inside of here and given it one of these different section shapes. So I believe I have one right here. I could have done this, and now this is now activated to be able to upload. We have this for sheathing. None in this project currently, but this will also be available to upload, and hardware, so it's like the flat straps and stuff will all be part of this when you're uploading your project in the future. So I've got all this set up. I've already uploaded my panels. So I'm not going to go through the whole process here of hitting upload. Basically, for the panels that are here, it'll take a couple minutes, and these will then be sent to Onyx. You'll get a confirmation window. You can get out of Revit, and we technically won't have to come back in here. I'll just have to go into Onyx. So you have your project. You now see here that I have 108 panels. Before I start anything, I would suggest you go through your settings. So we have a few options on the side, the CNC machines, the label configuration, some unit settings, work order, roll orders. Unit setting is important. You've got your metric and imperial with the different tolerances that we can set up. Once you save this, it's going to affect all your projects. And then on this side, we have the weight also. So I'm going to leave this as is. Label configuration, if you need to print out labels, you can configure these a bit more personalized. Right now, we've got this example that's a default. I'm not going to go through much of this today, just because I want to get to some of the more important aspects for this presentation. But you can definitely go and add and create your own design, basically. Let me skip over here to CNC machines. All right, so for today, as you see here, we've got different machine types available for you in Onyx. Currently, there's Howick, Beck, Irene, Pinnacle. We have a couple more coming up in our latest updates for Onyx. Today, I'm going to be focusing on Howick. I've already created myself a machine setting, but typically, for example, I could go here, hit Add Settings, and create a new one. So these are all the default settings, basically, which you can go ahead and change. Let's call this Howick V2. I'm just going to let you just view a little bit of what's inside here. Obviously, all the machine type for like Beck and Pinnacle will have different options. And then once you're happy with your selection, you can go ahead and hit Create. And this will give us a second machine now. This is going to come into play later on once I go to the component types, because I'm going to assign one of these machines to all the different members that we have in our panels, which will then allow us to bring this into the CNC editor with those specific toolings and operations. Work order settings is pretty straightforward. You create work orders with your start number and how you want it to, the increments to jump. Roll orders is similar also. So work orders is going to be something that we're going to go over today. I think it'll be important for everybody to see how we can filter our panels depending on our work orders and then the sequencing of each panel within these work orders. So my settings are set up. I'm happy with this. Like I mentioned before, component types here. These are all the members that we uploaded from Revit. So from inside of here, we've got a couple options. You can create some output files directly to CSV. You can assign the CNC machine, which is what I'm going to do right now. I already have Howick V1, but again, if you wanted to select all, and then assign a machine, you would get your different machine types that are available to your account. So for example, I pick Howick again, and then I'll see that new machine setting that I created. So now that these are assigned, I'm good with this. Something also that you're going to see a lot through Onyx moving forward is our grids. So basically, these can be customized the way that you guys desire. So if I just select these three little dots and go down into columns, you have all the different options here for your columns. So you can close these, turn the ones that you want to visualize, and then save this. And how we do that is this little eyeball. So by opening this, you'll see here, select your custom panel list view. I haven't saved anything currently, but if I like the way this is set up right now, like I said, I can go ahead and close a few just for the example, and then I would do save view. Call this view 1, save. And now in the future, if this was to be, for example, reset to its initial state where there's all this information, I can just dock this down and say, I just want to see this right now. And however your view is set up is how your output files are going to look. So if I send this to Excel, for example, you're only going to get these columns displayed. All right, so component types. Let's go ahead and jump into our project right now. Go here, pick this. So we're going to start with work orders. I've created 2 work orders. Again, pretty straightforward. You just hit create. You give it a description. So let me call this WO03 real quick, and then you give yourself a deadline if required. So I can go ahead here and hit create. So now I have 3 of these. Now, by picking my work order 1, you're going to get a list of all the panels in the project that you can add to this work order. Down here, once these panels have been selected and you do add panels, they get added to your work order. So down here, I had already assigned about 10 panels to this work order. And notice again, we have these grids available to manage. So this one down here is pretty packed. So this would be typically something that you'd want to go in and maybe clean up just to see the information that's important to you. I've done it up here for these panels just to keep this condensed. And what I want to show you here is that if I go pick this 3rd work order and it gives me all the panels, so you'll have right here, I can see that these panels were already assigned to work order 1. By clicking on the column header, it'll put them in ascending or descending order. You can also go inside of here and filter. So if you're looking for a panel with a specific name or specific lengths, you can just type in is equal to, let's say this width here is 6 inch, hit filter, and it'll give me the different panel. Whoops, what did I put? 6. Okay, let me just go back, reset this. It should typically bring out what you exactly type in. I'm not sure, maybe I'm typing it wrong. So this will then bring up everything that you want, and then you can go ahead and select them from here and add them through the add panels. So up here, we have also a sequencing. So in order to get to this, what you're going to be able to do from the project viewer is sequence your panels. And this will be used basically for your work orders if you want to select them in numerical order from 1 to, let's say, 100 because of this project. And you can do this through the project viewer or through the panel manager. I'm going to focus on this for now. Just to show you, I'm going to load up my panels, and you'll get a 3D visual, basically kind of similar to Revit. Okay, so we got all our panels here. The upper level here, I have already sequenced. you'll notice these numbers that are between brackets. Okay, so if I was to go back to sequencing and I wanted to start sequencing, these ones here are all red because they don't have a sequence number, and these are showing me that they have already been numbered basically. Current number is 19, and then I can go around and start selecting and continuing from that previous number. Once this is done, you would hit save, and it's going to add to all these panels the numbers. You see them right here. We have different sequence types that we can set up with your project settings. So if you wanted sequence types for stacking, maybe manufacturing, you can create different ones and then sequence according to what you select inside of the sequence type. Inside of the viewer, there's a few things you can do. Right here at the bottom, you can show parts. You can show parts for specific panels that you select. I'll give you a quick view of what this looks like. Okay, so very similar to what we saw in Revit when we frame our members. And the control is similar to Revit. You can also isolate by hitting I. You have a couple options here at the top for zooming. Right. So I'm going to go ahead now and jump into the panel manager. And this is where most of the work gets done. Most of how you're going to filter and create your files are going to be done from. So inside of here now I have all my panels currently in this project. Now I had selected this filter. If I take it off, you'll see here page 1 of 6. So this is absolutely all the panels that we have in this project. So like I was saying before, in order to create my CSV files, or if I want to create my CNC files, a quick way through the grid is exactly like I did here. I went down to my work order column and I said, I only want to see the work orders that pertain to the first one. And I hit filter, and now I only got these the work orders for these panels. So if I select one panel, we have also a grid down here for members. So these are the different members that are assigned to panel 2457. Same thing again with the grid. We can manipulate this in order to create CNC and the CSV files, just specific, to the members of this panel. The sequencing, like I mentioned earlier, you were able to do it through the project viewer with the model, but you can also manually do it inside of here if this is something easier for you to do. So if I just hit sequencing, it's going to ask me to pick the sequence type. I only have the stacking one created, and then you can go ahead and start changing these manually. And you'll see a little red arrow at the top here saying that something has been changed. And then of course you would do save changes, and this will be reflected in the project viewer if you were to go back and look. Okay, so there's a lot of information in here. I'm not gonna go over everything today. Again, if there's any questions or if you guys would like to see this a little bit more in depth, we do have videos and we can give you a hand through the email support. But for example, now I would like to jump into our CNC editor, and that's what's going to play a factor on this CNC edited, on the status. So how do we get there? You select your panel name. So I'm going to pick this panel right here. Brings it to a little bit of information about the panel, and what we want to do is go to the editor. Inside of the editor, again, we're going to get our panel specifically in a 3D model. And depending of the CNC machine settings that you've assigned to your members, you're going to have different operations available to you. So at the top, you can already see we've separated this into a few different sections. So you got slots, notches, nailing, and routing. And depending of the machine that you've picked, some of these may be grayed out and some of them are not available. So right now we're dealing with a Howick CNC setting. So this panel right now, you'll notice a little bit of color. These are some of the operations. And a way to view these is if we just go over here on the side, we have a full menu of all the different members. So as I hover over them, you'll notice they light up in the project. And if you want, you can select these, open it up, and go look at all the different operations that you have. We have another window similar to this that's very interesting, I know for a lot of people, is the code viewer. So if I open this up, and I'll make the window just a little bit larger. Here we go. So for example, if I pick this member is all lit up in red, and we can scroll through all the different operations. Okay. And you can also directly go in here. Similar to Revit, you can tab if you're looking for something to make sure you select. So I'm going to pick this slot hole, and we'll see it also lit up inside of this code viewer. Anything that you do will be recalculated. So for example, if I grab, let me just zoom in so it's a little bit easier to see. Grab this little red marker here, and I want to move this. You'll notice here it's regenerating. It recalculated my operations for this member. Right? And you can also, obviously, using our tools here at the top, you can add new stuff. So I can go ahead and let me pick this top member just to show how it comes inside here, which you can manually move again by using these red markers, or you can type something, say 12 inches, and have them move into the position that you require. And you'll notice it's regenerating over here. I'm going to close this so that's out of the way. Okay. Some other interesting things that we have for the CNC editor. We have the invert connection, which works with a few of our machines right now. So if I zoom in here, I'm going to make this transparent. Okay. And I'm going to hit this invert connection. You'll notice these little arrows come in. So you can just select these and just tab it. You'll notice the change here was made for my connections. And anything that you do basically in here manually afterwards, it'll be important to save it. So I'm going to go ahead and close the invert connection now. And how do I save this is by hitting this publish button. So you can save this as a draft, which doesn't really make it the permanent file basically when you're going to create your CNC files. But once you're happy with what you have, then you can definitely hit publish. Okay, so I've made some changes, obviously. I've added holes, I moved stuff around. I'm going to hit publish. This is perfect. And now through this, like I said before, if I go back to my panel manager, we'll be able to see that something has happened to this specific panel. All right, so I'm good with this. Go ahead and open this up. And while it's loading, I will also make a comment here about why work orders come in handy, especially for the CNC editor also. My work order 1, I can do load panels. Oops, sorry. And you'll have the entire list of panels that are with this work order. So instead of having to go here and selecting each of these panels and then jumping back into the CNC editor, if you have work orders, you can just go ahead and select them, and you'll be able to work directly in here without having to jump back and forth. So if I go here, I should have something updated. So the panel that I worked on, CNC edited, yes. So now it's showing me that something has happened, that there has been changes done to the original panel. Directly from CNC editor, you can download your CNC files, and you can also do this from inside the panel manager where I can go ahead and select all my panels for the work order and hit download CNC. So if I do this, I'll get my zip file down here with all the different files for each panel. Okay. And once this has been created, again, Onyx is going to update you. Right here, we see that the status of these panels have been downloaded. And what this has also created, if I go back to the main page for Onyx and we go to our manufacturing center, we now have our first roll order that has been created. Through the manufacturing center, we can set it as rolled once it's been rolled out. Again, you can download your files through here. So every time that you make an adjustment to the panel manager panels and you download them, Onyx is creating those roll orders for you. I believe I just go back. The last thing here that I could actually show you guys before we kind of wrap this up for today for this little brief demo is our upload center. So Onyx is constantly in development. It's a new software that we have that we're very excited about. So you can get your release notes visible here. And if ever you're looking for the latest upload center, which is what you're seeing here inside of Revit with your version, this will be populated in this section here. Now, there are lots of new things coming that we've been working on. So this is just a little taste of what we have for Onyx today. I am going to let Tanya just finish this up for us and give you guys a little bit of information as far as how to reach out if you would like additional information.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. So as Alex mentioned, I just want to remind everyone that the recording of the presentation will be sent through to all of you tomorrow. Contact details for our sales department and also technical department will be available in that mailer. And if you have any follow-up questions or would like to schedule a one-on-one demonstration with the team, please feel free and don't hesitate to reach out to us. All right, that's it for us. I hope you enjoy the rest of AU. Have a great day.